Hey guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys here today. Before we get started with today's video, if you guys could do me a solid favor and hit the like button down below, it helps the channel out so much in the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't take too long to do it all. And on top of that, if you're new, I would consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more Dallas Cowboys content to be in your subscription feed if you love the Dallas Cowboys. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on new content when it comes out. Now, CeeDee Lamb. I have been looking at a lot of the highlights that are coming out of OTAs, and if you know me personally, I don't really like covering the OTAs because I feel like we're just talking about glorified, team practices. And some people might say, well, you talk about training camp. There's a difference between OTAs and training camp. Training camp, we're trying to figure out who's going to be on the roster. OTAs is just straight up practice. So I really don't care. But based off of what we're seeing from OTAs with CeeDee Lamb and the spectacular catches and things that he's been doing, I think that there's a lot of justified optimism around this Cowboys offense going into 2021, specifically with him. You look at the statistics he put up with the amount of quarterbacks that he had to deal with, and I'm really certain that if Dak Prescott plays a full 16 games in 2020, I really do think that he goes over 1,000 yards, and I have a firm belief he probably makes a Pro Bowl. And what doesn't make any sense is, how some people want to say that Justin Jefferson is the better receiver out of the draft class. It's kind of funny because when you really think about it, Justin Jefferson had the same quarterback feeding him the ball all year long. CeeDee had 4 different quarterbacks nearly put up 1,000 yards, and he scored 5 touchdowns. When you compare it to Justin Jefferson had like 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. I guarantee you that CeeDee Lamb gets much more yardage. Does he get 1,400? I don't know. But based off of how Dak was slinging the ball, probably. And in terms of touchdowns, he probably gets like 7 or 8. And that's not being a homer or anything. If you looked at how this Dallas offense was clicking, I just cannot see how he doesn't do that. But getting back to going into 2021, CeeDee Lamb is poised to make a huge jump. And considering the fact that he has a bunch of other guys to work alongside with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, this Dallas Cowboys passing attack is going to be deadly in 2021. Dak Prescott is the key to it all, obviously, because the quarterback feeds the receivers. But what you're getting in CeeDee Lamb is a complete receiver who can develop into a true superstar number 1. And that's what people were saying before the draft. He was the number 1 wide receiving prospect, and then the minute he becomes a Dallas Cowboy, all the doubt comes in, right? But I am certain that CeeDee Lamb, and I'm going to go on a bold prediction here, and, I'll stamp it on the screen. I firmly believe CeeDee Lamb is going to have a Pro Bowl caliber season in 2021. I think that he's going to break out. He's going to be what I mean by breakout, I understand that he did really good, and I think that he's going to eclipse 1,000 yards, and I think he's going to get between 8 to 10 touchdowns. I really do think that. I think that CeeDee Lamb's going to emerge as the number 2 receiver on this team, and with his big playability, it's just his all-around game is fantastic. And I just want to see what Dak Prescott can do with second-year Mike McCarthy, getting a bunch of new players in here. I think if you just fix up this defense and let the offense cook, I think this Dallas team could be one hell of a I think they're going to be a contender if the defense does its part. I'm not saying they're a contender right now. I'm still under the belief that, hey, they'll win the division. And I'm not trying to get sidetracked here, but this still goes back to the point of CeeDee Lamb. You have him for 4 more years, including 5th-year option, before you have to give him a new deal. So there could be a possibility that once we start getting to the point where you got to give him a new contract, I think you might see Amari Cooper get ejected for him. And so that's why I think this second year is important, to see how much growth we're going to see from him. And considering Dak Prescott's been continuously getting better, and the work ethic that he has, I really think that you might see 2 Pro Bowl receivers from the Cowboys possibly. And that's not absurd to say. And I don't want anybody in the comments to feel like we're doubting him or like, oh no, it's not possible. Look, if Dallas has the ability to nearly get like 3 1,000-yard receivers in 2019 with those types of guys, more specifically, like I'm looking at Randall Cobb, and then you go into 2020, which based off of the production and the pace of which Dak Prescott was putting up these crazy numbers, and granted, it's because the defense gave up so many goddamn points, I think that you could possibly have seen 3 1,000-yard receivers in 2020. So, for me, I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb, and I'm looking for him to take that jump to be number 2, because we know that Michael Gallup might not come back. If he does come back, oh, it's going to be one hell of a trio for the next couple of years. The Cowboys are going to have arguably the best offense in football as long as all of them stay upright. And I don't want any of us to come away from this and say that this is impossible or we're overhyping the team. If you go through each one of these guys in our receiving core, you got a guy in Amari Cooper who is a top 10 wide receiver when he's on the football field healthy. Don't let anyone kid you that. He is that goddamn good. You have Michael Gallup, who, when I mentioned in my previous video talking about what Dallas and what is Dallas going to do with him, you have a guy that's a 1B receiver, and then CeeDee Lamb, who was a future 1 type of guy. And those 3 are all in your receiving core. And there's a possibility that you could bring them all. You could bring Gallup back for 4 years or however long. There's a possibility that CeeDee and Amari run the show for a couple years, and you get another guy in here. The sky's the limit for this team, specifically with the addition of CeeDee Lamb. As I mentioned last year, he brings so much flexibility to that receiving core that if Gallup walks, guess what? You already have your next guy up in CeeDee Lamb, and you just draft a Gallup replacement. So I really don't want to go on forever talking about this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say down below. Tell me, what are your expectations for CeeDee Lamb in year 2? Put it down below in the comment section. And before I go, I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members. And if you would like to become a channel member, just hit the join button and take it from there. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. And I'll check you guys out later. All right, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.